Hello, I'm Joel Baird, the General Manager of Missoula Community Access Television, inviting you to another edition of What's Up Missoula. I'm doing a series of informational programs on candidates for City Council races. Joining me now is Copple. She is a candidate for Ward 4. Thanks so much for coming over.
Thank you, Joel. Glad to be here.
I understand you've been to a lot of things.
I have.
You'd mentioned there's a Missoula Organization of Realtors candidate forum, MCAT video of that. There was also a Missoula Downtown Association forum. We didn't do that one. And we didn't do the Associated Students of the University of Montana, which was tonight as well. So I feel for you. But this is great. The candidates are really trying to get the word out. As to
I think it's
about.
important to be accessible to all the groups that want to hear, from me. Well, it might be good just to tell people where Ward 4 is, too. I don't know how many. It certainly has come up for me a lot that people don't always know.
Questions. And they might think you're better than others because you told them where Ward 4 is. But if you know the boundaries, feel free.
Okay. Well, the boundaries include, so on the south, Kent, and then it sort of jogs over on Woodworth and Beverly. So it includes the South Campus University Golf Course area, and then everything up Patty Canyon, the Farview neighborhood, and then everything east of Hillview Way. Russell is sort of the cutoff on the other. It does a little bit of a jog. Yeah, at Russell.
Then I'm going to tell people that this is a mail-in ballot, too, this election. So people should expect to see
October
ballots.
19th is when they go out.
Right. So if you're watching this, it's going to be on a lot between now and election time. You don't have a ballot, go ahead and call the elections office. And I should have that number.
I should too. I don't.
258 county. Call the county. Ask for Vicki Zier, the election officer, and make sure you get a ballot for the race. So, okay, we're going to go right to the questions. I promise everyone's being asked the same questions, audience. And also, the candidates have seen the questions beforehand. It's not meant to be extraordinarily... it's meant to be probing and everything. It's not meant to be a surprise. And everyone's getting asked the same thing. Here's your first question. What do you think the most important issue facing the city is in the next 2 years?
Well, I think there's two really important issues. I couldn't quite decide which was more important. And I'm basing this in part on what I'm hearing on the doors. I've knocked just over 2,000 doors so far and plan to try to knock every door in the ward. There's 8,000 registered voters in Ward 4. So I think the two most important issues are economic development and the creation of more jobs and supporting of business in this area, and also that the city owns our water supply. So those are the two that are most important to me.
Okay. How do you differ from the other candidates in this race?
Well, there's just one other candidate, and she's the incumbent, Lynn Hellegard, and she has a record since she's been there a while. I think we differ on a number of things, and I'm finding out more and more as we do these community forums because I'm not entirely sure to say how she feels about city water. But she tends to be the more conservative, probably, of the two of us. I'm definitely a social liberal, and I feel that fiscally we should be smart. It's other people's money, and we should be careful that we're spending it wisely and making the most out of the investments that we do make in the services that we all care about. So I support the ownership of the water supply. I strongly support public-private partnerships and the continuation of urban renewal projects, such as the Midtown idea. There was a plan that came out back in 2003 to revitalize the Brook Street corridor and make Midtown feel more like downtown, and I strongly support that because I think it's really in need in that neighborhood. There's a lot of, the Brook Street area has a lot of just sort of strip malls that are kind of looking run down, and we've seen what's been able to happen with Trumpers, just with using some of that economic development money to really revitalize that area and help businesses like Ace Hardware expand, which I think is really important. Rosalie Cates is my treasurer, so she's the former head of MCDC, so she knows a lot about economic development and redevelopment, so we've been chatting a lot about ideas that way. I also think
just
that
in case people don't know,
Montana Community Development Corporation.
Okay, thank you. I just
yes.
thought, people would be like, well.
They might not know.
Yeah, what is
yes. I think other big differences include support for the College of Technology and where that's going to go. I support it going in the golf course location. There's a plan that has support from some of the neighbors and the University of Montana to maintain a 9-hole golf course that's just like a par 3 course, so similar to Linda Vista, and then build the building where kind of the clubhouse area and parking lot area is right now. And I think that's really important because so many students take classes both at the COT and the University of Montana main campus. And I think as a city, we just want to make sure that the university remains in the heart of our city and that people can walk and bike and bus to where they need to go. Obviously, there's times that cars are necessary, but I think as a community, we want to make sure that our land use and transportation policies are making sense and working for us as a city. Great.
Okay. If elected, what would be your primary goal for the next year?
Well, the next year, there's a lot. I think that the Missoula Economic Partnership is a really good start in terms of recruiting new businesses here. But I also think we need to support the people that we already have. I'd really like us to streamline the permitting process through the Office of Planning and Grants, or OPG, because all of the business owners that I've talked to, as well as contractors especially, just find that there's a lot of red tape, and it really can be quite difficult to do the paperwork that needs to be done to get a business up and running, and I think we need to make it easier for people. I also think that I want to see all the neighborhoods in Missoula come up with neighborhood plans. We've seen the North Side, West Side neighbors do that, and I think it's a really smart thing to do, and it's also a way that folks in the community don't feel like this zoning thing is being sprung on them, because they've had a say and they have this buy-in that, hey, this is our community and we want to be single family homes, or we want some mixed use, but we want it to look like this, not like this, so that folks feel more empowered to have control over what their neighborhood's going to look like. So I'd certainly like to see that happen as well. Okay.
Oh, what should people know about you, your experience, your background, and your vision?
Sure. Well, I'm 28. And so I guess I would be the youngest candidate ever if elected, because I'm younger than Roy Houseman.
Wow.
So that's
and
kind
Jason?
of a groovy thing. Yeah, he's in his 30s.
Okay.
So I think that speaks a lot to the community that Missoula is. I've been here for 6.5 years and just have had such an easy time really plugging into this community and feeling like one person really can make a difference. I worked with the YWCA for 3.5 years, which works to empower women and eliminate racism, and still volunteer with them. I had a brief stint at the Montana Innocence Project, which works to overturn wrongful convictions, and now I work at the Pride Foundation, which works to strengthen the gay and lesbian equality movement by making grants and giving away scholarships to students who oftentimes have lost all family support just because of who they are and who they love. So clearly social justice is important to me. I was raised that one person can make a difference and that you should leave the world better than you found it, and so that's certainly what guides me into my career path and also my new public service aspirations. So those are important to me. I also just really love Missoula. I'm a champion of this place. I think it's the best place ever, and I don't want to ever live anywhere else. I'm a 4th generation Idahoan and always kind of thought I'd go back to the Boise area. But after coming here for graduate school, just fell in love with it and wanted to stick around. So hopefully I can do that. I'd like to see more economic opportunities so more people can stay here instead of having to leave to find a job.
Anything you want to add?
Well, I guess another important distinction between my opponent and myself is that she voted against the non-discrimination ordinance last year. Some people may know that as the equality ordinance. It was basically the city of Missoula, because of the lack of protections at the state level, decided that, Missoula is going to be a safe and welcoming place for all people, and we're going to make sure that everybody has dignity and fairness when it comes to being able to work and not be fired because of who they are, who they love, not be denied housing or public accommodation such as a hotel room or a restaurant or a bathroom based on sexual orientation or gender identity and expression. And as someone who really believes that all people should have lives that are rich with peace, justice, freedom, and dignity, I think that ordinance is really important, and it really sends a message that this is who we are as a community. Even if the state is a few years behind, we're going to be Missoula, and we're going to do this the right way because we care about all of our people. So I was very involved as a volunteer in passing that ordinance, and it's something that's near and dear to my heart because I have a lot of friends and have personally experienced mistreatment because of my sexual orientation. So I think it's an important thing for this community, and I'd like to see representation that really shares the values that I think most Missoulians hold near and dear to their hearts.
Well, thank you so much, Caitlin, for coming by. If people want more information, Caitlin Copple has a website, and it is, and I think Rick's going to put it up, coppleforcouncil.com. Mm-hmm. There it is on your screen. And you can also go on the Facebook, put in
Yep.
Caitlin Copple, and learn more about her campaign. Well, thanks so much for watching our political edition of What's Up Missoula. Please stay interested, particularly in the city council race. If you don't get your ballots by October 19th, call the county election office and see where they're at. It's going to be a mail-in ballot this year. If you want to learn more about other candidates, other races, we're going to have as many as we can on this program. So keep tuned in to What's Up Missoula. For MCAT, I'm Joel Baird. We'll see you next time.